Alright, this is the last mini lecture of Module 7. We have discussed the integration of common knowledge in a lesson in the first mini lecture, and the nature as well as the types of soft skills in the previous one. Now, we will continue with the process of integrating soft skills in English language teaching. As stated in the previous parts, English teachers must be aware that they have a great responsibility in developing students' soft skills through English teaching learning process. They cannot only teach English just to make students able to speak or write. Teachers must also build their students' attitude, ethic, or responsibility. Building soft skills can be integrated in the 4 main parts of language teaching, including lesson plan, materials, learning activities, and assessment. First of all, we'll discuss how to integrate soft skills in lesson plan. Obviously, planning is a way the teacher is going to conduct the teaching in order to achieve the objectives effectively and efficiently. According to Burden and Wood, a comprehensive planning preparation is needed for effective teaching at all grade levels. He further states that planning is a critical function to ensure student learning, and it was taken from 2 reasons. Reason number 1, the planning process helps the teacher to organize the content of the curriculum and to address the complex classroom variables. The variables are instructional objectives, time, appropriate teaching strategies, available materials, media, and so forth. Next, the planning process provides the teacher with a sense of direction and feeling of confidence and security. Therefore, Harmer suggests that before making a lesson plan, a teacher needs considering a number of crucial factors, such as the language level of the students, their educational and cultural background, the likely level of motivation, and the different learning styles. You know, the main components of lesson plan are the standard of competence, the basic competence, the indicators, the instructional objectives, the instructional materials, the teaching learning activities, the source of material and media, the method or technique used, and the assessment process. Well, the integration of the soft skills in the lesson plan made by the English teacher can be done in the section of the instructional materials and the instructional activities. In the section of the instructional materials of the lesson plans, the teacher writes the main materials based on the predetermined instructional objectives, which are formulated based on the indicators and the basic competences taken from the syllabus. The main instructional materials written by the teacher consist of kinds of texts, language components related to the topics that would be taught, and the soft skills that would be integrated. Meanwhile, in the section of the instructional activities in the lesson plans, the integration of the soft skills can be done by making lists of the activities. For example, grading students, relating the topic discussed to certain soft skills, and closing the class by giving motivation to the students. Now, to help you have a better understanding of the application of soft skills in lesson plan, I want to give an example. You know, In every unit in English 10, 11, and 12, there is communication and cultural part, where students have opportunities to practice communication skills in the classroom. Teachers should pay attention to this part when designing a lesson plan. Another example, in unit number 2 of English 11, page 22 to 23, students have a chance to give advice to other people who had trouble with their relationship. Doing so, students can improve their problem-solving skills. Or you can look at the example in the screen. Two situations are taken in an advice column in a newspaper. One of the tasks is that students have to imagine they were the counselor and what advice they would give to the readers. Through this activity, students have a chance to practice their speaking skill and problem-solving skill as well. Secondly, we'll discuss how to integrate soft skills in materials. Materials, especially authentic materials, play a significant role in foreign language teaching. They are not simply the everyday tools of the language teachers. They are an embodiment of the aims and methods of the particular teaching or learning situation. Through evaluation and development, teachers can assess whether the materials are the most appropriate for the target learners at various levels and in various teaching settings. Dubin and Austin stated that in an idealized model, materials draw on the content of a syllabus, reducing broader objectives to more manageable ones. Then, they say that ideal materials should present teachers and learners with a jumping-off place, a stimulus for the learning process at each point. Besides, effective materials should enable experienced teachers and autonomous learners to develop their own alternatives according to their needs and personal preferences. As you can see, Hutchinson and Waters explain that good materials will contain interesting texts, enjoyable activities which engage the learner's thinking capacities, opportunities for learners to use their existing knowledge and skills, and content which both learner and teacher can cope with. There are many kinds of English materials. Richard and Renander stated that English instructional material may take forms of printed, non-printed material, and materials that comprise both printed and non-printed ones. And bringing literary works as learning materials into English classroom brings some benefits for developing students' soft skills. Now, we will see how to integrate soft skill in learning activities. Alright, English teachers must be able to formulate appropriate learning activities, because learning activities may give students greater chance to develop their soft skills. Learning activities are understood as any activities of an individual organized with the intention to improve his or her knowledge, skills, and competence. The two fundamental criteria to distinguish learning activities from non-learning activities are: the first, the activity must be intentional, as opposed to random learning, so the act has a predetermined purpose. And second, the activity is organized in some ways, including being organized by the learner himself or herself. It typically involves the transfer of information in a broader sense, like messages, ideas, knowledge, or strategies. Now, last but not least, let's see how to integrate soft skills in assessment. You know, assessment is the last and important part in the learning process. Through assessment, teachers can understand students' performance as well as their soft skills development. Assessment is defined as the activities and processes involved in judging performance. You know, peer assessment can be an alternative. In peer assessment, students are involved in assessing the work of others. Peer evaluation also provides learning opportunities for students to develop the ability to realistically judge the performance of others, as well as their own. It is considered peer assessment one of the most important teaching methodologies. You know, a range of tools can be used for peer assessment. Here is a means to manage the workflow associated with electronic submission of student work, distribution of anonymized student work to one or more peers, provision of criteria for evaluation of submitted work, provision for commented feedback, and mark allocation. Self-evaluation by the student of their own work. Tailor permission for users to see the grades and comments assigned by their peers. You know, these activities are grouped into two phases. The first one, submission, and the second one, assessment, each of which are time-managed, as shown in the flow chart below. Now, please have a closer look at the flow chart in the screen to understand peer assessment process more. Moreover, Freud validated 5 advantages of peer evaluation as following. First, students are encouraged to tackle problems outside the tutorial session. Next, in grading others' work, students appreciate and reinforce the correct solutions. Number 3, students become aware of the grading scheme and appreciate the reasoning behind points awarded or deducted. Number 4, in grading others' work, students realize the importance of clearly presenting the solution. Number 5, the instructor can act as a facilitator rather than an assessor. From the statement above, peer assessment can build some soft skills for students. They can develop communication skills. They can be critical in thinking and taking a decision. And they can work together and respect others. However, teachers may also use other kinds of assessment like performance-based assessment or authentic assessment. In conclusion, in the global competition, students have to develop their soft skills. English teachers may also play their role in developing students' soft skills. In English learning process, teachers can integrate soft skills with the 4 basic components of the learning process. What's more, while designing the lesson plan, English teachers must be able to determine learning outputs, materials, strategies, and assessments that may encourage students to develop their soft skills. Next, appropriate learning materials are also needed. Teachers can bring literature or other authentic materials in the English classroom. Moreover, learning activities or learning strategies can also influence the success of building soft skills. Teachers are expected to be careful in choosing learning activities as well. And active learning is supposed to be the most appropriate activities for all the soft skills. Last, the success of soft skills is also influenced by the learning assessment. Performance assessment and peer assessment can be implemented to measure the students' achievement in English as well as their soft skills. So, that's the end of Module 7. See you later in the next module, when we will continue to discuss other components considered when making a lesson plan. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.